Good morning, Easter Camp. How are we doing? So, my name is Zoe, and I have the privilege of serving on the medical team this year at camp. I hope I don't get to see many of you, because that means you're having a really good time and being safe. So now, if there's one thing I want you to remember from this weekend, it's this: God is calling you. When I was younger, people would ask me, Zoe, what do you want to be when you grow up? And like most kids, my answer would depend entirely on a random thing that I was obsessed with that week. I remember one time, after absolutely smashing a game of bat down with my whānau, I turned to Dad and I said, that's it, I'm going to be a famous cricket player one day. Safe to say, that dream did not stick. Firstly, my cricket skills peaked at about age 9, and secondly, not going to lie, I find cricket so boring now. Sorry to all the cricket fans. But here's what did stick. From a really young age, I found myself drawn to caring for others. I'm the oldest of 7 siblings, and with that comes the responsibility of stepping up, of helping out, and looking after people became second nature. It was, and still is, a part of who I am. It's the way God designed me, the way He formed my heart. Looking back, I can see how God was gently shaping me and guiding me and preparing me for my calling, even when I had no idea where I was headed. Now hear me when I tell you, whether you know it or not, God is preparing you for something bigger than yourself. God is calling you. When I was in high school, I found myself in a bit of a mess. I was hanging with a bad crowd and found myself in this endless cycle of poor self-image and poor self-care. I found myself in a space of worthlessness, of helplessness, and I couldn't see a way forward. I remember sitting with my counselor at the time, and she turned to me and said, Zoe, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I remember looking at her, not being able to find the words within me to answer. I just sat there, silent. Not because I didn't want to answer, but I honestly couldn't find the words within me to. I couldn't imagine anything good coming out of the space that I was in. Hear me when I tell you, even in your confusion, even in your pain, even in your silence, God is still calling you. Fast forward to my final year of high school. Something had shifted, and my goodness, it was the faithfulness of our Father. I was stronger, I was braver, and I'd started to work through some of the stuff I was carrying and surrendering that over to God. As the year went on, it came to the time where we had to start thinking about life after high school. Honestly, it felt so overwhelming. COVID had just become a thing, and my dream to take a gap year and go travel to try and find myself was all thrown out the window. So I made the last-minute decision to apply for a nursing degree. There was no real depth or reasoning behind this decision. It just felt like a really solid kind of job. I knew I had a heart for people, and nursing felt like a really practical way to serve others in this way. Now, I'd always known God moves in whatever area or experiences we find ourselves in. But it was through this decision to apply for nursing that He made Himself known in a super tangible way. The day after I got accepted into my nursing degree, I received a text message from a whānau member that I didn't see all that often. That's what made it feel so random at first and so out of the blue. She wrote, Hey Zoe, last week God put on my heart to pray for you, and I felt like He told me to tell you that you should be a nurse, which honestly feels like such a random thing to say. Anyways, have a good day. Hope this means something. I remember just sitting there and reading those words over and over and over again. In that moment, what once felt like a maybe or just a good idea suddenly became purpose. I felt called into something bigger than myself. Now, wherever you are in life right now, whether you're still trying to figure things out or if you're facing doubts, God is preparing you for something. God has given you unique gifts, skills, and deep passions that the world is crying out for. God is calling you. Fast forward to now. I'm now in my 2nd year as a registered mental health nurse. And if you'd asked me 5 years ago where I see myself, mental health nursing definitely wouldn't have been one of my answers. Throughout my nursing degree, God moved in super tangible ways. My generalized heart for others became focused on serving those who are imprisoned to addiction, the brokenhearted, and those who have lost their way due to intense and deep mental health struggles. God has revealed strengths in me which I didn't know I had the capability of possessing. I have the privilege of walking alongside people who are so often misunderstood, people who the world is so quick to judge, simply because the lens in which they perceive things is broken. It's an honor to care for them, to serve them, to hold hope for them when life just feels too heavy. When people ask me what made me want to become a mental health nurse, the answer is always the same: Jesus. It's always been Jesus, and it will always be Jesus, because the truth is, I didn't just stumble into this work. I was called into it. There's no way I could walk with people in some of their darkest, most vulnerable times without him. He gives me the strength, the compassion, and the purpose behind every day, every conversation, and every step. It is through Jesus holding my hope that I am now able to hold hope for others. He is the one who led me here. Now hear me when I tell you, God is preparing you. God is molding you. God is calling you to be the hands and feet of Jesus in your own capacity, in your own communities, in your own way. God is calling you.